Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. Lovely to have you here as always. I'm joined by Laurence and Adam. Good to have you here, chaps, as well. This week we're answering some of your questions. Thank you very much for sending us your thoughts. We're going to start with, what do you think of Arsenal's February fixtures? Tough games ahead.
Woof.
Yeah, Laurence, Arsenal's February fixtures. You've got just a handful of them. Liverpool away, Manchester United at home, Liverpool at home again. Obviously, one is League, one is Cup, and Bayern Munich at home.
That's a tricky run.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's worth saying as well that March is possibly even more difficult than that, actually. Bayern away, Spurs away, Chelsea away, and Manchester City at home. That's kind of how the end of March, or mid-March to the end of March, pans out. So very difficult times ahead for the Gunners.
Well, the point's been made that Arsenal have been through tricky times before and crumbled. But with them sitting top of the league, it's a slightly different situation. Mm-hmm. They do have a buffer, in a way. I also think that Roman made a really good point from Pitch Invasion last week. He said you basically can also see the positives in this. If they do well against Bayern Munich, then they could push on and it gives the team some momentum.
Like last season when they won away.
That's right, they did.
Sort of transform them, so it could happen.
The thing is, it's going to be such tiny margins that it's almost irrelevant that the 1 point here, 1 point there. I feel like even if they lose those games, they're still going to be in a chance, because these teams still have to go away to Liverpool, they still go away to other sides.
And Manchester City got Barcelona as well.
Exactly. So it's not exactly an easy run for City either at this point. It's not even an easy run for Chelsea. So I think that all three of them have got difficult run-ins. It's just that we've chosen to pick Arsenal because possibly their squad doesn't look as if it has as much depth as Chelsea and Man City.
Well, we're going to go on with another question. What do you think about Chelsea and Atletico Madrid having a verbal agreement for Diego Costa, the Brazilian/Spanish forward now? What do you think about that, Laurence? This sort of verbal agreement.
What counts as that? Can we have him? Yep. Good.
This is for the summer.
We'll bring the paperwork in a couple of months or something.
They're saying this agreement is for the summer. There's no way Atletico are going to sell him in January.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a big improvement. It's the one area, isn't it, where they're the weakest. I think their strikers, Eto's got 6 goals, Torres has got 4, Bar's got 1, sort of thing.
I mean, they've not got many, is the point.
Yeah, and you look at City, and Aguero scored 14 goals on his own, so it's sort of the one area where
Grado scored a lot of goals as well. And, I mean, Giroud scored a few goals, Suarez has scored, a lot of the other teams in there have got good strikers. I mean, even Manchester United, not having a great season, they've got 2 excellent forwards.
But look elsewhere in Europe, and you don't necessarily have to have one forward that's absolutely on fire to do well. I mean, Barcelona have proven for years that you can spread the goals out a little bit and then have a focused player, which I imagine at Chelsea is Hazard, and then everyone around him will get goals. And I think it's really important that those guys just behind the striker are putting in goals as well. And I think but Torres is probably really good at making space for other people.
Yeah.
And I think Eto's probably going to be gone at the end of the season anyway. So if anything, it's not going to bring in strength, and it's going to be to replace Eto.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, cracking on with the questions. I'd really like to hear you guys talk about the Mata transfer, along with pros and cons. But it's a good signing, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah, it's not the one they need at all.
Isn't it?
No, they don't need another number 10, do they?
I think that Mata is a very different player to both Kagawa and Rooney. And the fact he was voted Player of the Season twice at Chelsea,
Absolutely.
2 seasons in a row, was instrumental in that Benitez squad, instrumental in Europe for them as well. I think that's going to be really important for Manchester United. It also gives them so many more options formation-wise. It does also slightly complicate the area, like it's congest that area a little bit, doesn't it? Because it's going to be difficult to keep all those players happy.
No, I think it could have a similar effect to the when Ozil came in, it gave everyone a huge lift and all this sort of thing. I think it could have a similar thing because they are not having the best season on Manchester United. Yeah. But I think what Moyes was saying, all he wanted was a central midfielder and a left back before this Mata deal sort of came about. So I don't think it's not like their priority area. They need to strengthen him, but it's not going to weaken them, is it? I mean, having a player of his.
Certainly. Moving on, we've got a question here. Should Liverpool drop Steven Gerrard? Now, he was criticised the other week for when he was playing that deeper role, which he's been playing a bit this season. Now, with Brendan Rodgers' fluid style of play, does he kind of hold up the play a little bit? Does he get in the way?
I'm not sure that he gets in the way. I think he needs to but his spatial awareness definitely needs to improve going backwards if he's going to be so deep in the Liverpool midfield, because I think one of his weaknesses is that he isn't as aware as the defensive space around him. And the point has been made that is why Benitez never played him deep with anyone. He always played him and really favoured him out on the wing or very far up the pitch, because he's good at pressing, but he's not necessarily good at plugging gaps and tracking runners. He has the qualities to be a defensive midfielder, but I'm not sure that he fits that system right now. And you'd argue that a combination possibly of Henderson and Allen might make the team play a little bit better, possibly a bit more fluid, and possibly get forward even more than Gerrard might at the moment. You often feel at the moment at Liverpool, as a Liverpool fan as well, that Liverpool do look a bit stilted with Gerrard in the side. You could do what?
I was just saying, difficult. No, I agree. I'm just saying, it's a difficult situation that Rodgers is in, isn't it? Gerrard's such a legend. How do you? It's a delicate sort of situation.
And the last question we got concerns Arsenal again, and it's Draxler to Arsenal. Thoughts? Do you think that's a good signing, if indeed it goes ahead?
I'm not 100% sure they need him at the moment.
Yeah, another attacking midfielder.
Yeah, so he's been playing on the left
Yeah.
for Schalke this season.
Mm-hmm.
They've already got Podolski there.
Yeah.
Oxlade-Chamberlain can play there. So I'm not sure they need him, but
He'd be a big upgrade on the likes of Podolski and Oxlade-Chamberlain, though, wouldn't he?
But again, I'm not sure if it's the area they need strengthening. Obviously, it's the striker is the number one thing. Obviously, it's easy to say go and get a striker. It's tougher to actually find one that that will improve the squad. But I'm not sure Draxler's someone they need now. Maybe in the summer, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Well, thanks very much for your questions there. It's been a pleasure answering them, or trying to at least. Thank you very much, Laurence and Adam, for your thoughts as always. And do fire questions at us for next week as well. Pleasure. See you next time.